none other than Dr. Connor. Yes, he's been here several times before, but this time he's coming with his brand new book, Dear Queen. I think he wrote this with me in mind, and
Absolutely.
maybe with you in mind, and you in mind, and you and everybody else that's listening. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, let me tell you, he just got off the plane coming in here from Utah. Let's talk about that experience because you said it was a wonderful experience. What did you do in Utah?
Utah was a place I never thought I'd go to. But and only
You and several others.
right, only prior knowledge I really had of Utah was the Jazz,
All
Carl
right.
Malone and John Stockton. But I was invited there to speak at Salt Lake Community College for their mentor celebration, honoring a lot of mentors who are surrogate fathers and mothers to many of our young people in the community. So to be able to share a word of encouragement with them and let them know that it's about being a servant leader
Mm-hmm.
and that the work they do is not just for applause, but it's for a cause. It was tremendous to be able to have that honor.
I bet it was.
Yeah,
Is there going to be a way that we can see that or hear that later? Or...
absolutely. The video footage is being edited even as we speak.
Mhm.
So once I get it, you'll get it.
Okay, good. Please let us know. We'll definitely share it on
Yeah.
Literature, Lyrics, and Lines. Now, I understand you were on Can You Relate?
Yes.
They were talking about the subject of suicide.
Hmm.
And in that discussion, you brought up your brand new book, Dear Queen, which of course I'm going to buy my copy soon. Um, but I didn't have a chance to look over some of the forewords of this particular book,
Hmm.
but you were telling us about it. And though it is something that's written for our young ladies, it is certainly a lot that our young men can take away with.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So tell us about Dear Queen.
Yeah, as much as there's a king inside of our young brothers, there's a queen inside of our sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And queen is defined as quintessentially unique, empowering everyone
You are
naturally.
the man of acronyms. I thought it was me, but you're the one. Okay.
Well, I've gleaned a lot of insight from you over the
Oh,
years. So,
stop it.
and I was saying on the Can You Relate show that I used to write love letters to girls, and I was so shy that I wouldn't even approach them. I would just put the letter in the locker. And girls will say, he tried to talk to me and I don't like him, and three snaps in the neck roll and all that, and then your name gets around the school
Right.
and you try to such and such and such.
Right.
So it word got around a little bit that I wrote poetry and this, that, and the other. And so my homeboys would say, hey man, can you write a letter to my love interest, to my girlfriend, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that? Of course, keep your name off it,
Uh-huh.
and I'll give you some money for it. And so I didn't know I was developing a little business plan even as a tender
Right.
teenager. And so I said some years ago, I said, if I can write a letter of love to girls, I think I can write a book of love to our girls and our women to love themselves and know their worth.
That's
And that's
beautiful.
what you're getting in this book, Jewels of Wisdom for building your brand, developing healthy relationships, birthing your business, and really becoming the queen to where your royalty demands loyalty.
That is so important in this day and age because I
Yeah.
think that with the advent of women seeking to be equal with a man, which,
Mm-hmm.
some people say that's not possible, and others
No.
say, well, I'm going to fight for that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we know that women may, in some cases, lose that feminine edge. I think that a lot of times our young ladies forget the power of femininity.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we don't really identify with that softer side.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly, I think about women who have to raise their children alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we really identify with how beautiful a person we are inside
Mm-hmm.
and that soft and tender way. Because especially if you're raising a boy, a lot of women may feel like, I'm going to have to be tough on him
Yeah.
because it's not the father in his life. That the absence
Mm-hmm.
of that father hasn't been there. So boy, I'm going to punch you. Boy, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that because I think that women feel that boys need that.
That tough
When
love,
in
yeah.
fact, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think that they think that at times,
Mm-hmm.
but it is that tender side that can also teach a young man to be a man. So can you expound on that a bit, or am I off,
Yeah,
or
no, no,
am
no.
I
You're right
right?
on. You're right
Okay.
on because my mother had a great mix, raising myself and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
As a single parent, my father was absent in my life, especially during that time I was battling and grappling with stage 4 cancer and coming out of that. And just her words of encouragement. She'd stand in front of the door and say, hey, you know what? I'm not walking in this door until you open it up for me. So
Mm,
she taught me about how to treat her like a queen,
excellent.
about how to be a gentleman. Because I believe the way that you treat your mother as a man is going to be how you treat your significant other,
Yes,
your
sir.
wife, your spouse.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, she taught me, just the little subtle comments and words to where I had to understand that I have to respect a queen,
Hmm.
and she embodies the essence of that. There's a quote that suggests no nation can rise higher than its women.
Hmm.
And so we see the great aspects of women moving in business. I believe statistics suggest that women of color are now at the top levels of business development with
Yes.
$2.9 billion worth of income coming through their hands.
Hmm.
And so I believe now we have to leverage those resources, not just be purchasers, but be producers,
Hmm.
not just be buyers, but be creators.
Hmm.
And that's what women are doing.
And that's a great statement, and one that I really hope that our young ladies are observing
Mm-hmm.
as they're growing and becoming young adults, young ladies themselves. And I think back to, as I had mentioned before, those moms who are raising children on their own. It may be a little girl and two brothers, or two girls and one brother. Nonetheless, they are watching everything that mom does.
Right, right.
They are learning behaviors from that mom.
Mm-hmm.
So what they see and how that mom teaches the brother is sometimes the way those little girls think they should interact with men in general.
That's true. Right.
And so, um, what is important in this book that I know that you're talking about is teaching the young ladies of the power that they have within.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even yes, you have to deal with young men a bit differently than you do with a young lady. Um, you know, I know we were raised in a time, and I don't know if it's quite that way now, but boys don't cry. Boy, get up. You hurt your
Mm-hmm.
knee, get up. But if it's a girl, come here, honey.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, let me
Right.
kiss it and make it better. I think that we, as a society, just think that we have to be tough and hard all the time
Mm-hmm.
with a boy,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to a girl, so that he won't have the feminine tendencies. When you're saying yes, there are going to be things that the mom is going to teach a young man in terms of how to deal with women,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't mean that, unfortunately, those little girls that are seeing that, they don't always see the softer side of the mom either,
Absolutely.
that's embracing the young man, maybe when he's crying because he's been bullied, or that
Mm-hmm.
he lost a basketball game and he feels really bad that he was supposed to make that last basket, didn't do it. And sometimes the mom is sitting down and saying, hey sweetie, it's okay, everybody makes mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this is a well-rounded piece here, of literature that can help us identify with how to be more interactive with our young ladies, so that they will see that they can still be young ladies and have that feminine side,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to still negotiate in a way that women negotiate. When we're sitting at a table with executives, there's a way that a woman has that a
Mm-hmm.
man doesn't.
Right. Right.
There's a way that a woman can speak and not sound like a man, but still accomplish the same goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited that you have decided to give us this, I'll say this Bible on how to concentrate on being women again,
Yeah.
how to concentrate on the strength that we already have, that is God given, and that we don't have to be the masculine, or don't have to identify with the masculine side of ourselves all the time.
Absolutely, and it's as Dr. Michael Eric Dyson suggested. He said it's a literary love letter in book form.
Mm.
He wrote an endorsement about it, Jessica Care Moore, and that tenderness is that nurturing aspect, and that essence of what a woman brings to society is
Mm-hmm.
so very unique and important, especially in the context of relationships. And
Mm-hmm.
we want our males to be tender and compassionate in relationships, but
Yes.
society often tries to pigeonhole them to just saying that vulnerability and masculinity don't operate in the same space.
Right.
But you need that same vulnerability when you're in the context of a relationship.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
it's very key and important. So not only will ladies benefit from reading Dear Queen, but our brothers will too.
I'm sitting here and I'm really kind of just picturing you sticking a little love note in somebody's locker, right?
That's what I was
But
doing.
what I'm really imagining is how actually the mystical side of it is really rather romantic.
Yeah.
So now this girl doesn't really know who sent it, you know, and you're just walking past her and she's showing it to all of her friends.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he loves me. It must be the quarterback on the football team.
Right.
On the football, it's got to be that guy, you know.
Yeah.
And all along it's you.
It
But
was
that
right.
gave you a strength also to know that you were able to touch someone's hearts like that, some woman's heart, some gentleman. You wrote words for a young man on his behalf that he couldn't write for himself.
Right.
So that had to give you a strength, even though you were shy.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the movie Hitch, but I think I might have been
Oh, yeah.
Hitch before Hitch.
I'm gonna call you Leo.
There you go. And because I wasn't the prom king, I wasn't the jock. I played basketball, but only for a certain amount of time. I wasn't the voted class cutie, most likely to succeed. In many cases, I was least likely to succeed. But I said, hey, my gift is speaking, and it was writing, and I could definitely tell because it became a therapeutic element for me to deal with some growing pains that I was experiencing. And but even then, I understood the element of love and compassion and being able to nurture even through a note. I just wanted you to check the box, yes.
Yes.
But in many cases, it was no or with a question mark. or with the
sure
LOL before LOL.
Oh, well, we are so excited to always
Yeah.
have you. You know, you have been so supportive of all of our efforts here at WRCJ.
Appreciate you.
You were the first one to offer to come and talk to Brandon Clark, I believe, on Momentum. And you still support the young people here in the city of Detroit, but nationwide. I mean, for you to stop by today, coming straight from Utah, speaks volumes to your sentiment and your care for the young people here in the city of Detroit. And once again, we want to thank you always, Dr. Connor.
Oh,
for
it's nothing but love.
and your
Appreciate
support.
you.
We do. Again, tell us how we can get your, wow, was it 7 books?
Number 7.
Number
yeah,
7.
Number
I've been
7.
counting.
Yeah.
I have the other ones. This one I don't have yet in my library.
We're
but
going to
you
make sure you get it.
Yes,
We're going to make sure you
thank you
get
very
it.
much. So tell us how we can get all of your books.
Yes. Dear Queen, you can just go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Nook. It's available everywhere where books are sold, as well as even if you want an autographed copy, go to my website, EddieConnor.com. Listen, let's make this a bestseller. I want you to go to the website, buy one for yourself, but also get one for somebody else, and help them to march as they unveil the queen in them, and brothers as well. You can get something as well from this book that will unveil and unlock the king in you too.
Excellent. You got any events coming up in April, May, anytime during the summer where we can see you personally and absorb some more of this wonderful energy that you bring?
Absolutely. I'll be traveling a lot outside of the state, but I got some events coming up. I'm actually in conversation with Dr. Pinson.
Yay.
So hopefully we'll be doing something as well soon. And she just got a great avenue of empowerment for women as well. And so I'm looking forward to connecting with her. And, I'm always glad to connect with you, too. You're the voice of choice in our city.
Well, okay. I love that. The voice of choice. That is my new name.
There it is.
No longer Beverly Moore.
There it is. Self-proclaimed.
Well, again, I thank okay.
Yeah.
I thank Dr. Connor for coming to be with us again on this show, and I am definitely overwhelmed that he would come straight from his event in Utah to be with us here today. Again, you're listening to Literature, Lyrics, and Lines. If you missed any part of this show, you can hear it on WRCJFM.org on demand, Detroit Public Schools Radio, and this show featuring Dear Queen with our wonderful author here. I told you Detroit has some of the most outstanding authors. You think I'm kidding? I'm serious. I mean, really. You want to get this book. This is my copy. Get your own. Detroit,
3 snaps in the neck roll. Tell them like it is.
Hello.
There it is.
All right. So thanks again for joining us for this edition of Literature, Lyrics, and Lines. Give us a call at 313-494-6314. And Detroit, as always, thanks for listening. Have a great evening.